Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome to the crash course of pre-market preparation. In this course, short course, we will go through the most important elements you need in order to prepare yourself the best way to the market. I'm Michael Katz. I will be your host for today. Let's get it started. Okay, so one of the famous sentences or quotes of Abraham Lincoln is, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening up the axe. And this is exactly what we want to do when it comes to market preparation. These are the things we need in order to prepare ourselves for everyday market. The first thing we need to do is market analysis, scanners, finding the right stock, analyzing it, watch list, creating a watch list, building scenarios, and then obviously the news. Since I want to do it very thoroughly in depth, what I'll do is just take one of each topics and break it down every single lesson. So today we will be focusing on the market analysis, only doing that, explaining exactly what you need to do every single day when you want to start day trading stocks. Actually, those kind of things are relevant to every market, basically. Even if you're trading Forex, you still need to do this market analysis and then some finding the right asset to trade for the same day, etc. So today we're going to be focused on market analysis, and this is the way I've been doing it for the last 15 years. Obviously, you will continue to do that, and as you proceed, you will find your own niche or your own way to analyze the market. I will give you the tools that I've been using, but you know, trading is super individual, so at the end you will find your own spot your own niche in market analysis. So let's dive right to it. Okay, so when it comes to analyzing the market, there are three major markets that we need to cover, or three major indices. The first one is the Nasdaq, the second is the S&P, and the third one is the Dow Jones. We will also analyze the VIX to see the opposite correlation that it has with the S&P. So I will start with the NQ. The NQ is the symbol for the mini future Nasdaq 100. 4-hour chart. Obviously, when you're trading every single day, you don't have to go through all of that. It will be much quicker analysis. But since we are learning and doing it for the first time, let's see what you need to do at least once a week before the opening bell. So Nasdaq 100 4-hour chart. First thing first, without any indicators or moving averages or whatever, just learning the price action. So if I'm zooming out just a little bit, I can see that the price moved down, reached the 13,000 point, and from that point moving almost 2,000 points, even just a little bit more. So at that particular moment, what I need to do is put up the resistance and support levels that might be a resistance to the price. I'm definitely learning that the price took its time to drop down, but when it's moving up, as you can see, it moved up very strongly, very sharply. So that is a great indication that buyers are pretty strong here. And even if we will see a nice correction, like a pullback, that makes sense. But at the end, we're probably looking at the end of the like a crash, a small crash that we had here from the beginning of the year. So let's see the places for the sellers to come in. This is definitely one of them, so I'm marking that right here. What I'm doing is trying to catch as much as touches from that level. So we got this area right here, the second one here, and the third one is right here. Obviously, when it comes to trading, especially when we're talking about indices, it's usually not a specific level but more of an area. So make sure you when you're watching this level that I just marked, you actually wait to see if not just the specific point is working, but the whole area. Sometimes when it will be a little bit bigger, what I'll use is just a rectangle and mark the whole area, something like that. So this will give me an indication that we are at a specific, we are not a specific, but we are at an area that might be resistant. So this is one of the places definitely sellers should get in and might drop the price down. And if we're looking to downside, then we have this level right here, or again area level right about here, and this should be a nice support level, or again area that will help buyers to come in and push the price higher again. So those are the two levels that we can play with. This is a 4-hour chart, so obviously for day trading it won't be enough for us to analyze the 4-hour, and we need to go drill down to the 1H and the 15 minutes as well. But what I'm thinking right now is that the price can move higher, reach that resistance level, and from that point the market will drop. Now if I know that the price will reach that resistance level, that means, and will drop down, that means that I can go short either on the market or other stocks that I will find that shortable or capable of shorting when the market will have its resistance. So I'm going to the second one. I'm going is the 1H, analyzing that as well, looking to see if I'm missing something from the 4-hour chart. In this case, not a lot. I want to learn a little bit more about the price section that started from the 1300,000. So for example, when price is moving higher strongly and it pull back, how does it look like? How is the pullback look like? You can see in the low volume, since it's not during the real market hours, more of a overnight. And again, nice momentum move to the upside, long consolidation, and then another pop, again pullback, long consolidation, and again another pop. And this is actually the first time. Look at this one, let me mark it. Look at this rally that we had right here, comparing to the others, where you can see this is literally the first time, or maybe that was the second time. You can see that the price is actually moved higher, consolidate just a tiny bit, and broke through a new high, comparing to the others that made a nice rally but consolidate throughout like a half of a day or even a full day, and then only rallied again. So that gives me an indication that the price could continue higher. There are buyers that coming in, looking at this resistance level that we just broke through, and this is definitely an opportunity to go higher for the Nasdaq. At least this is not obviously it's not a trade, but just understanding the market behavior, and the price, for my opinion, at least on a 1H and a 4H, could continue higher to those levels and only then drop another maybe even to this level again. So we'll see about that. If I'm looking at the 15, just trying to see something that I didn't find on a 1H or a 4H. The price is dropping just a tiny bit. We might see a nice pullback to this area, and from that point moving higher to their main resistance level, and from that point dropping down. This is my opinion or my analysis in this case that I see. The same applies to the S&P. We're going to the 4-hour chart, looking to see a little bit of the price section, the way that the buyers acted the last it's like the last 2 weeks of this upside. How is the seller reacted as well? where are the resistance and support levels. So for example, we can see this nice resistance level, or actually that should become support right now. We just broke through it 4 hours ago. So the next one should be around this level of 46, 65, 63, something like that. This is not, again, this is not a specific level, but more of an area. And if the price will drop down, we should see support around this area at 45.75. So at the moment the S&P is a bit stronger because it broke through this resistance level, major resistance level. So on a 4-hour chart, looking pretty good to the upside. That was the gong from for the opening bell. And if I'm looking at the 1H, again, pretty strong volume coming in. We might see a quick drop to the support level and then moving higher. Makes sense that we can do that. Both cases, either breaking through this level or dropping down and moving higher, both of them are a positive move, right? A long move on the market. So if I want to trade stocks at the beginning of the day, for example, I will definitely aim for trading long compared to trading short, because the market looks pretty good to the upside. Again, either breaking this like it's doing right now or dropping and moving higher. Both scenarios are long basically, because the drop here is only 10 points. It's nothing. Looking at one more indicator that can help us analyze the market for the day is the VIX. VIX is the Volatility Index, and on a 4-hour chart, it basically works with the opposite correlation to the S&P. So as you can see, price is dropping down the last 2 weeks, while the S&P moving higher the last 2 weeks. What I want to do is just mark the levels, the main levels that we see on the 4-hour. So this one is definitely a nice level, the 21.37. As you can see, it worked perfectly here. We broke through it here. If we go just a little bit to the past, you can see it also it acted as resistance as well. So this is a nice level to mark and watch for. That means that if the price reached that level, the VIX reached that level, it should pop up from that level, bounce up. And if the VIX is moving higher, then the S&P is dropping down. And it makes sense to what we said earlier, because the price of the Nasdaq, the price of the S&P looking pretty good to move higher as it does right now, but look what it's doing, is moving higher to the resistance level that we marked. So VIX is dropping down, reaching a support level, S&P, Nasdaq moving higher to a resistance level, and then they might flip at that point. When Nasdaq reaching resistance level, it will drop, stocks will go down, VIX will go up, and this is the way you analyze the market, and you can play with it with the stocks that you want to trade. If you want to go long at just the beginning of the day, definitely an opportunity, either this bull flag, or even if it would have dropped down, held this support level and then moved higher. Same, the beginning of the day is a long bias, and then when reaching this resistance level, try to go short when you find the right stock to short, obviously. So guys, this is what you need to do in order to analyze the market correctly every time you start your preparation for the day. Obviously, like I mentioned, when you trade every single day, you remember the resistance and support levels. You have all the all the trend line and etc. already set up. One more thing that you can do that is important, you can mark them, you can draw on the chart and mark the scenarios you want to see. So for example, if we talked about Nasdaq reaching this resistance level and then dropping, I can, even before that, I can just draw it. so I won't forget. So for example, reaching this resistance level, then dropping down to this support level. So when I'm doing that, I don't really need to think it over. I just see the drone and it simplify the analysis basically. Okay guys, so I hope you like this video and it will help you with your trading. If you have any questions, obviously send us the questions either by email, Discord, you know where to find us. And I will see you on our next video when we will continue learning on how to prepare yourself to the trading day. See you then, bye.